So I want to share 4 things with you. And I want to make this clear before I proceed, in the limited time that I have. Number 1, there's nothing I'm going to say to you that you don't already know. Listening to this radio station on a daily basis, you hear all of the master motivators. I'm not a master motivator. I'm a young guy, the new kid on the block, and I love what I do. It's my life. It's my passion. So I'm not going to insult your intelligence. I'm not going to tell you anything that you don't already know. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm not going to tell you anything that you have not heard before. So I want to make that clear, that I'm not purporting to bring you any new revelations. Third thing is this: I don't want you to agree with me. The 4th thing is, I don't want you to believe me. But here's what I am suggesting. And this era that Fortune magazine has aptly called the era of possibilities, I want you to look out on your personal life and on your professional life. And I want you to think about something you want very badly. Just think about one goal that you'd like to achieve. Like my driving passion was to buy my mother a home, because I appreciated Mama adopting us. And I said, Mama, that's something I want to do for you. And I achieved that goal. And ladies and gentlemen, let me share something with you. There's nothing like doing something that you set out to do that gives your life some meaning and power and purpose. And that gave my life some meaning and power and purpose. And I'll never forget when we drove there and I gave her the key and she got out. She, oh my God, said nobody could have told me that you would have done this. And I was the bad one. I mean, I was a problem kid, you know. My mama used to wear my butt out. Say, I'll whoop you behind till the cows come home. I said, I hope they hurry up. But there was nothing like that achievement. Now, here's something I want you to do. Think about some goal you want to achieve. And I don't want you to worry about how you're going to do it. That's not important. Just shut up. Forget that. How is none of your business. Because of our mental conditioning, ladies and gentlemen, we unconsciously build a case on why we can't do something. When I wanted to go in the area of motivation, I started building a case for myself. Les, you can't do that. You've never worked for a major corporation. You can't do that. You don't have any college training. You can't do that. You don't have the money. You don't have the contacts. You've never done that before. What makes you think that you can make more money in 1 hour than most people make working for 2 or 3 months? How many of you have ever wanted to do something? And just answer honestly. How many of you have ever wanted to do something and you talk you out of it? Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. All right? So you know that inner conversation. That's what I'm going to override tonight. All right? Now, by the way, when I get started, I get fired up. So don't pay me any attention. Let me take my coat off. I don't have much time, so I want to burn this up. Hold this for me. All right? All right. Just hold it there. Thank you very kindly. I appreciate it. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. All I want you to do is hold the vision of what you want. I want you to think about that all the time. Hold the vision of what you want. Keep that in your mind's eye. I dreamed about constantly being on Robert Shula's program. I thought about it all the time. See, ladies and gentlemen, our thoughts have power. Your thought is what you brought. So people don't realize that. See, we can't control the thoughts that come in our minds, but we can control the thoughts that we dwell on. So your thoughts have magnetism, and the most challenging thing is to discipline your thinking, to hold the vision of what it is that you want. That's the most difficult part. I saw myself on Robert Shula's program. I saw myself being interviewed by Robert Shula. I saw myself prepared to answer whatever question he asked. I was ready for him. I'd been there 1,000 times in my mind. At the end of the program, he said, "It feels like I've known you before, like we've been together before." I said, "We have been, spiritually and mentally. I've been following you for a long time." I thought about it. See, this is no game to me. It's no memorized speech for me. I live this. I believe you don't teach what you don't know, and you don't lead where you don't go. And most people, ladies and gentlemen, most of us go to our graves with our greatness in us. Most of us, ladies and gentlemen, most people, when they die, you can literally put under their names, dead but not used up yet. Because most people go through life holding back. Most people go through life not giving their all. Most people have their lives on hold. How many of you know you can do more than what you've been doing? Raise your hands, please. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that proves a point. That we know we can do more than what we're doing, and we're not doing it. Why? Why? I couldn't understand that. I was born in Liberty City. I knew I can do more than what I was doing when I was working for the Miami Sanitation Department. When I used to go door to door selling television sets, no money down. When I was working for Sears when it was on Biscayne Boulevard. I knew I can do more than that. But I wasn't doing. I was stuck, because we don't do what we know. What we do is we operate in the context of the vision that we have of ourselves. See, I couldn't see how to do more. I knew I could do it, but I couldn't see it for me. I believed it. I didn't know it, because if I knew it, I would have been manifesting it. So therefore, hold the vision of what it is that you want. The next thing is that whatever it is that you want to do, ladies and gentlemen, here's something that's very key for you. There must be on your part a willingness to do what is required, a willingness. If there are 75 things to do to achieve your goal, if there's one thing on that list of 75 that you're not willing to do, I guarantee you that's the first thing that will come up for you and will kick your butt. See, I always wanted to be a speaker and a trainer. I wanted to make an indelible impact in the training industry, but I didn't want to be a businessman. I'm a first-generation entrepreneur in my family. Because I was told I was dumb and stupid most of my life, I unconsciously developed a tremendous phobia about paper. If you say, let's write me a speech, I automatically become nervous. I can't write you a speech, but I can give you a speech, but I can't write you one. I can't tell you the principles of speaking and what it takes, but I can demonstrate it for you. I can show you how to speak, but I can't give you a written explanation for it. I'm not smart like my sister who graduated from the University of Miami. But I have people on my staff with her education that work for me. But I can't write stuff that they write because that's not my area of strength. But so I had a fear. I felt I could not operate a business. And so I wanted to hire a consultant to take care of the details. I had given this consultant power of attorney to sign checks and handle my business. I called my consultant and said, listen, I've thought about this. It's time for me to grow. I've got to be willing to handle my own business. I want to meet with you. I need to develop a working knowledge of this. I've got to stop running from this. I've got to learn, admit my ignorance, and decide it doesn't have to be like this for me. To make a long story short, my consultant canceled 14 meetings with me. And when I finally got my books back and have not seen my consultant to this day, I knew why. That thousands of funds have been embezzled from my account. Now, whatever happened in our lives, we allow it, we permit it, and we promote it. So it was just an education as my career is going up, not coming down, but it's going up. It was just a tuition I had to pay in the universe because I wasn't willing to learn. I wasn't willing to do that. Now, here's something else that's fascinating. I said, okay, see, if you're not willing to grow in life, life will kick your butt until you surrender. So I said, okay, I'm willing to learn. And here's what I discovered. It's not as hard as I thought it would be. It has blown my mind. It's unbelievable. I said, if I had known, here I am, I'll be 45 February the 17th. I've been running from things that I consider difficult, and if I had known it's this simple, I'd have been doing it long before. But I wasn't willing to grow. I wasn't willing. I didn't have the willingness to do everything that was required, and therefore, it kicked my butt. So you got to be willing to grow. Osborne said, unless you attempt to do something beyond that which you've already mastered, you will never grow. So you've got to decide to grow. See, most people won't try and grow. Now, why wasn't I willing to do that, ladies and gentlemen? Because I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to look stupid. I didn't want to admit the fact that I didn't know something. 85% of people in life allow their fear of failure to outweigh their desire to succeed. Repeat after me, please. Anything that's worth doing is worth doing badly. Absolutely. See, if you know how to do something right, well, it only makes sense to do it right. But see, I wasn't willing to be a businessman badly. See, if you want to make it in life, here's how you can begin to make your goal, ladies and gentlemen. Decide to make your life a great experiment. See, most people want to experiment, ladies and gentlemen. Most people want to be perfect when they come out the gate. Most people want to do things right all the time. You're not going to do everything right. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to have a lot of failures. You're going to have a lot of struggles. You're going to feel dumb and ask questions and don't know what to do or where to go. And that's part of growing. That's part of the experimentation process. See, life is about living. Life is about growing. Life is about challenging yourself. Life is about stretching. What if you don't make it? So what? I'm enjoying the trip. Hello. Can you tell I'm having a good time? That's what life is about. Say, I want some juice in my life. Say that, please. See, a lot of people going through life and they just dead. How you doing, honey? I'm just trying to make it. Give me a break. No, I want some juice in my life. I mean, it's no in-between for me. I don't want any in-between. They say, even if I go out, I saw this movie called Glory. Say, he went down standing up. You better believe it. So don't, a lot of people have died already. Somebody said that many people die at age 21 and don't get buried until they're 65. They play it safe. They don't take any chances. Well, as soon as I graduate, or as soon as the bills are paid, as soon as the children grow up, you know, as soon as I get my divorce, all this kind of stuff up in here. No, no. If there's something you want to do, don't live like you have 1,000 years to live. Decide that you're going to experiment with your life. Decide that you're going to take some chances. See, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not willing to risk, you're not willing to grow. And if you're not willing to grow, you're not willing to be your best. And if you're not willing to be your best, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there? So think about that. Decide to make your life an experiment. Decide to take some chances and come out in the universe and find out what you're made of. Here's something else. Here's what can change your life. Think about your situation. This is what happened for me. It was a moment of truth for me. Once, if you embrace this, I guarantee you, I don't care if you're in sales, I don't care what kind of business that you're in. You can be in the mortgage business, automobile business, any kind of business. If you embrace this dream that you're thinking about, this goal that you have in your mind, this vision that you have of yourself, if you embrace this, ladies and gentlemen, it will change your life. This is what happened for me. You've got to get to the point where you can say to yourself, this is the key to changing your life. When you say that, I, repeat please, I have had it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's when people get divorces. That's when people leave jobs. I'm going, where? Do you have another job? No. Where are you going? Away from here. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to get to the point in your life where you say, I have had it. I've had it with going in a restaurant, looking on one side to see what I want to eat, and then look on the other side to see what I could afford. I have had it with my children answering the phone, trying to duck creditors, and they answer the phone and say, my daddy say he ain't home. I have had it with parking my car in my cousin's garage because I know the best way to get back on your feet is to miss 2 car payments. I'd had it living like that. I'd had it robbing Peter to pay Paul. I'd had it borrowing money from people. I'd had it living like a cringing animal. When you don't have any money, it runs your blood pressure up. You hear me? I had had poverty sucks. Make no mistake about it. And you've got to decide, I have had it. I'm not going to live like this anymore. No, there's got to be more for me. And let me tell you something. You deserve it. Here, you deserve a better life. There is more to your life than you've been living. You deserve it. Ladies and gentlemen, I never wanted to be rich. Never. All I've ever said, I just want to be comfortable. How many of you ever, raise your hand if you just want to be comfortable. All I've said, I just want to be comfortable. Here's what I discovered. If you want to be comfortable, you got to be rich. Now, here's why I did not want to be rich. Number one, I didn't subconsciously believe I could create wealth. That's number one. Didn't go around saying that, but I didn't believe I can do it. See, what you have in your life is directly a result of what you believe is possible for you. Second thing is, I didn't believe I deserved it. Not consciously, but unconsciously. Whatever you have in your life right now, ladies and gentlemen, is a direct result of what you believe that you deserve. As soon as you get to the point of I have had it, what you say, I deserve better than this. I have a friend who's been married to a guy for years. He used to beat her all the time. And the last time he beat her, she said, I'm getting a divorce. And she did it. She'd been saying it for years. This time she went through with it. I say, Pat, wait a minute. He's been beating you for years. Why this time? She said, Les, I have had it. I deserve better than this. But he didn't even break your jaw this time, Pat. I know, but I've had it. And she went on to a better life. I was working for a guy that I was miserable. And life is too short and too unpredictable doing something you don't want to do. Even if you can't do it all at one time. It's worth it, ladies and gentlemen, to be involved in doing just a little bit of it. Do just a little bit of your dream. What if the unthinkable happens to you? What if, God forbid, I wake up tomorrow morning and I open my mouth and no sound comes out? What if, where you're working now, they have a downsizing or merger and you're out? What if? What if the unthinkable happens to you? I wish we had a time to talk about strategic planning that you can do for your future. But let me take you to the next level. Give me, I know I'm running close. Can you give me just about 3 more minutes? Can I do this up in here? Let me do this up here. If you want to get your goal, here's something else. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got to decide to be unstoppable. Unstoppable. If you want to reach your goal, see, most people, ladies and gentlemen, are stoppable. Most people, all you have to do is tell them no. All you have to do is make it inconvenient for them. All you have to do is make it difficult for them, and they'll stop. See, when you go to get your goal, don't think that all you have to do is think positive and everything's going to work out hokey dokey for you. When you go to get your goal, you are sending a telegram to Murphy's Law to visit you personally. Now, if you're asking the question, well, who's Murphy? Don't worry. You will know Murphy real soon. You will experience the storms of life. I do a whole seminar, how to survive the storms of life. And if you're saying, what's a storm? Don't worry, because in life you're either in a storm or just left one or headed toward one. How many of you know about the storms of life? Raise your hand. Okay, well, see, ladies and gentlemen, people who have not reached their goals, they got caught in the storm and they gave up and they went back, or they decided that the price wasn't worth it. See, they didn't know that that goes with it. That goes with the territory. That when you want to grow, when you want to achieve, when you want to experience more, all hell will break loose. Everything that can happen will happen. I have on one of my tapes, when life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. Hello. All right. So here's what I want you to do. Looking at that goal, you've got to begin to become unstoppable. Repeat after me, please. I'm not going to let nobody turn me around. I'm unstoppable. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left and say, you've got the power. Do it with it. All right, now, here's something else, ladies and gentlemen. See, if you want something, ladies and gentlemen, you can't be casual about it. If you go through life being casual, you'll end up a casualty. So if you want something, ladies and gentlemen, here's what you've got to be. I'm going to leave this last note with you. If you want something out of life, this is key. If you want to make it in this day and age, this is key. You've got to be hungry. You've got to be hungry. See, this is my profession, but my passion is I've developed a training program, and this year, 20%, when you purchase my tapes over here, 20% of the revenues from my tapes go toward my personal ministry. I'm going to train 5,000 kids this year, community volunteers, parents, teaching kids and taking them through a training process that I developed that stimulates the right and left hemisphere of the brain and their reticular activating system, as you know, a network like group of cells at the base of the brain that will change their behavior at the subconscious level, where drugs, alcohol, crack, cocaine, and other self-destructive behavior does not fit into who they are. My commitment is to create a drug-free society. And when I work with these kids, I let them know, if you want to make it today, we're involved in a global economy. You've got to be hungry. You've got to want it. And there's some things that we must do to begin to cultivate and to kindle that hunger. How many of you, since I've been talking, your energy level up, you can feel that hunger? Raise your hand if you're hungry, all right? You got to be hungry. I never forget when I graduated from Booker T. Washington High School in Overtown. And I wanted to go into broadcasting. At that time, it was WMBM radio station. Milton Butterball Smith, who died a few weeks ago, was the program director. I was cutting grass on Miami Beach, working at the Fontainebleau Hotel at the time when Jackie Gleason and the June Taylor dances were famous. And I went over to the radio station. I walked up to this guy and I said, Mr. Butterball, I'd like to be a disc jockey. And this is very important, what I'm right up here for you, ladies and gentlemen. I said earlier today, whatever goal that you want, I want you to write down 5 reasons and why you deserve your goal. 5 reasons. Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. Why do you do what you do? Why is that important? That's because when the storms of life come, and they're going to come, when life pounces on you, and that's going to happen, When it catches you on the blind side and drop you to your knees, and that's going to happen. When your best well-laid plans don't work out, and that's going to happen. When you start running out of money, and that's going to happen. When people don't come through for you and don't keep their words and don't support you or actively work against you, and that's going to happen. When you want to give up, and that's going to happen. Your reasons will be your rod and staff to comfort you. Your reasons will be your bridge over troubled waters. You got to know why you're out here, because you're going to get your butt kicked. But you got to know why you're there, because your reasons, when life drops you to your knees, your reasons will help you get back up. When times I wanted to give up, why are you here, Les? Because I want to make Mama proud of me. Why are you here, Les? You still want this dream? We're kicking your butt. I know, but I promise I'm going to get this house. I promise my kids I'm going to do for them. I'm going to give them a better life. I want to leave them a legacy. I'm not going to give up. Go back, fool, go back. No, I'm not going back. And you got to do like that. You'll cry, you're going to feel lonely, and I encourage you to pray. Pray. You got to pray. You hear me? You got to pray. You got to pray. You got to pray. You got to pray. So anyhow, I went to this radio station, asked this guy for a job. You look at me in my overall, my straw hat. He said, no, we don't have any job for you. He didn't know my reasons. My reason, I want to buy my mama a home. My reason, I want to make her proud of me. My reason, I want to make a difference with my life. All my life, I've been told that I was a loser, that I would never make it. All my life, I heard people say, maybe you're a fool for adopting those boys, especially that little ugly one. Not only was I dumb, but I was ugly too. But after you get a little money, people start telling you look cute. Somebody I ain't seen in years say, you look kind of cute to be heard. Oh, money makes a difference, doesn't it? I'm telling you. Hello. Anyhow, anywho, I started going to the radio station. This is important. I do this with kids. I teach them something called OQP. Repeat out to me, please. OQP. Only quality people. That's what I teach. My mother said, birds of a feather flock together. You run around with losers, you will end up a loser. If you want to make it in life, you want to achieve more, you've got to find people who want more out of life, who are seeking, who are striving, who are hungry. So I started going to the radio station every day, hanging around the disc jockeys. After a while, they took a liking to me. They would have me go get their lunch, go get their food. Many times you want to do more, you've got to be willing to pay your dues. After a while, they trust me to the extent they would have me go pick up entertainers that came to town. I would drive their big, long Cadillacs. Entertainers like Sam Cooke, Jackie Wilson, Dinah Ross and the Supremes, the Four Tops. I used to drive them in the disc jockeys' big, long Cadillacs. Didn't have any driver's license, but I was driving like a handshot. One day I was at the radio station, a Saturday afternoon, and a guy named Rock was on the air, and he had been drinking. There I was. Nobody at the station but me and Rock. I looked through the window. I was saying, drink, Rock, drink. Drink, Rock. I was ready, young, and hungry. That's why I tell you, don't worry about how you're going to get your goal. He said, I opened doors you did not see. I knew the general manager would be calling soon. I answered the phone. I said, hello. He said, Les, this is Mr. Klein. I said, I know. He said, Rock can't finish his program. I said, I know. He said, would you call one of the other DJs to come in? I said, yes, sir. I hung the phone up. I said, now he must think I'm crazy. I called my mom and my girlfriend, Cassandra. I said, y'all come out on the front porch, turn up the radio. I'm about to come on the air. I waited for about 20 minutes, and I called him back. I said, Mr. Klein, I can't find nobody. He said, young boy, do you know how to work the control? I said, yes, sir. He said, go in there and don't say nothing here. I said, yes, sir. I couldn't wait to get in the control room and get old Rock out the way. I sat down at that turntable. I said, look out, this is me, LB Triple P, Les Brown, your platter playing papa. There will never before me, if there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single and love to mingle, certified, bona fide, indubitably qualified to bring you satisfaction, a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. I was hungry. You've got to be hungry. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left and say, you got to be hungry. You got to be hungry. You got to be hungry. You got to be hungry, Jonathan. Boy, y'all just as crazy as y'all can be. I'm telling you. Look here. if you want to keep that hunger going, we have a set of my tapes over here on the side. One called From Vision to Reality, The Decision to Act. How many of you have the problem of procrastination? Raise your hand, please. Make sure you get this set of tapes here called From Vision to Reality, The Decision to Act. It will literally drive you, ladies and gentlemen. It will drive you. Listen to it every day. Listen in the morning when you first get up. And I guarantee you, my tapes are not boring. They will grab you emotionally. They'll make you laugh. They will inspire you. And as many people talked about, they will impact your kids as well. We've got to begin to imbue in our young people's minds some positive messages to empower them. We live in the greatest country in the world. Thank you. We live in the greatest country in the world that gives us the opportunity to develop our greatness. Repeat out to me, please. Since greatness is possible, then being excellent is not enough. See, let me tell you what I mean by that. When you're operating at the level of excellence, you're doing that well the way you know you should have done it in the first place. But when you're pursuing your greatness, you don't know where that can go. You don't know where that can lead to. See, when Larry Bird walks on the court, or Michael Jordan, people don't pack stadiums to see them because they're excellent. They're going there to witness greatness, because any and everybody can't do that. See, you don't know what your limits are, so you want to act like you don't have any. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left and say, I'm great and so are you. Yeah. So, but you know what? Joe, you got to bring me back. This is not enough time for me, Joe. You got to bring me back so I can wipe them out. Got to bring me back. Yeah. So, put this over there, please. Thank you. So, we have these tapes over here, Power Methods for Achieving Your Goals, covering a lot of material that I could not cover now. Personal power, getting unstuck, keys to self-motivation. You got to be hungry. And we got 3 sets of tapes over here available. Also, those of you that are interested in ordering our audio library, we will give you information on how you can do that. It's 10 sets of videos of the best work I've done. I don't know what your goals are. I don't know what you want to do, but I want to leave this on you. Number 1, that you deserve your goal. Number 2, that whatever you've done thus far is only a mere fraction of what's possible for you. Can you imagine getting to the end of your life, looking back only to discover that you only used 10% of what was given you? Jim Rohn said something I like very much. He said, when the end comes for you, let it find you conquering a new mountain, not sliding down an old one. So I'm urging you to continue to be a mountain conqueror. But I don't know what your goals are. My goal is to be the best son that I can be to my mother. My goal is to be the best father that I can be to my children. My goal is to be the best servant that I can be to mankind. I'm asking that God use me so that I can begin to help thousands of kids across this country, like Mr. Washington helped me. I asked him, I said, what can I do to pay you back? He said, pass it on. So whatever your goals are, this is what I'm known by that's on my tapes. It says simply this, that if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it. If all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish, or gulf, sickness or pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God you'll get it. This is Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, Leslie Calvin Brown, saying it's been a plumb pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. Thank you.